You know? Okay, so today we are going to talk about my recent trip to Moon Palace Cancun. I went with my mom and two of my children. We went to do the Dreamery experience, which is a new experience that the Moon Palace has that's catered for kids, specifically for kids. It includes all these little extras and things that we'll talk about later. So the whole trip really was centered around the kids, so just keep that in mind as we go through our review. Tell you a little bit about the resort as a whole, and then I'll break down the different categories. Probably bring the kids in and let them give you their reviews as well. So we had our transfer from the hotel to, from the airport to the hotel. When we arrived, they gave us little hand towels, and they took our bags and gave us a little ticket. Most resorts do that, so you can come back and get your bags, or come back and give them your room number and they'll take your bags to your room. From there we went upstairs to a check-in space. Our rooms of course weren't ready. We were there before check-in time, so we did the little registration and everything. And they don't give you your room card or anything at that point, but they do give you a little card that allows you to use the amenities and go into the restaurants, etc. Because when you go to most restaurants on the resort, they ask you for your room number, but of course we didn't have a room number yet, so we just showed them the card and they were able to let us sit down and eat. After that portion, we did end up going to the buffet, which we'll get into when we talk about the food. And then not too long after that, we were able to check in, and they don't give you cards, they actually give you the little wristbands for your door and anything else that you might need. The grounds were very beautiful. The Moon Palace is made up of 3 different sections: the Grand, Nazook, and the Sunrise. So it is a very big resort. Luckily they have multiple go-kart stops, and this particular resort, unlike some of the other ones where I've seen where the golf carts are just kind of driving around and you hop on as you can, this particular resort is so big they have specific go-kart stops, and at the stops it lets you know which go-karts are going to come there and where they can take you to. If you are staying at Nazook or Sunrise, you can use the amenities in the restaurants interchangeably. If you are staying at the Grand, you can use the amenities for all 3 properties. So Nazook and Sunrise, you can only use those 2 amenities and restaurants. If you're staying at the Grand, you can use all of them. Now, we were there on a trip specific to travel agents. In case you didn't know, I am a travel agent, and so we were able to experience everything. So I'll tell you which one I like best based on as we get through. So let's talk about the room. Like I said, we stayed at the Sunrise. We stayed in a garden view double bed room. The room was nice, and insert some of the Dreamery experience here. When we walked in, it was completely dark. The blinds were drawn, and they had a machine that was showcasing like little stars on the ceiling for the kids, and that was so cute. They also had pirate and princess items on the bed for the kids. They had wine for us adults. Another part of the Dreamery experience, specifically, this is specific to you staying in a family suite. We got to experience, like I said, because we went there specifically to experience everything the Dreamery had to offer. But they have little kid soaps. They have kid robes, kid slippers that you can use. They had a little shark on the sink. They also had little bath toys, And the soaps and shampoo and things like that in the bathroom were also kid size. If you're staying in a family suite, you also get a bucket of beach toys that you can take with you for when you go out to the beach. So I thought that was really, really cute, and the kids loved it. As far as the room, I think the room, in my opinion, was fairly small for 4 people. Luckily we didn't have a whole lot of bags. I put all my kids stuff in my bag, but just 4 people in that room was kind of small. And the main reason that the room was kind of tiny is because each room has a jacuzzi tub in the actual room portion, not in the bathroom. And that is every room, and it looked like that was across all 3 sections of the property. I did not like that. Number one, the kids really wanted to use the tub, but it's in the room, and so you can't really wash in the tub when everybody's just standing there and around. And of course you don't leave your kids in the room by themselves, so they never really got to experience it or even use the cute little bubbles and bath toys that they left. I didn't like that. We had a garden view, like I said, outside of each room, though there is a hammock, and we definitely got to enjoy that. They also had a drying rack outside, which I love. I love the drying rack being outside over being in the bathroom, because you don't have to take it off and on for people to get in the shower. So if I'm gonna give the room a rating of 1 out of 5, I'm probably gonna give it a 3. The size with the bathroom in there, and the walls were a little thin. I think probably like our second day. Now we were in a connecting room, so that might have had something to do with it, but the second day we had people come in beside us and we could hear them fairly clearly. So I don't know if the walls are thin or if they were just loud, or if it was like that because we were in a connecting room. So I would give the room a 3 out of 5. So let's move on to the food, and I'm gonna go to the app and open it up. The Sunrise had about 10 restaurants, and we experienced 3 of those. The Grand has about 13 restaurants, and we experienced 2 of those. And I didn't eat at Nazook at all. Nazook does seem to be the smaller, more quieter section of all 3. So if you are going as adults, or you're just looking for maybe a quieter, more chill time, that is actually the section of the property that I probably would recommend. So we ate at the buffet twice. We ate for lunch when we arrived, and then we ate for breakfast one morning. I enjoyed the lunch. Breakfast was okay, and service was a little slow for breakfast. We struggled to get drinks and silverware and stuff like that. So service was pretty slow, and it could have been because we went at a busy time. I think breakfast, if you don't go early, is always a busy time. But the lunch was pretty good. We also ate at the Italian restaurant. The Italian restaurant is gorgeous. It's really pretty. The food was good. I had amaretto ice cream, which I have never had before, and it was delicious. So I would definitely recommend going there. That one does not require a reservation. So there are some restaurants there that do. The Indian restaurant requires a reservation. The teppanyaki restaurant requires a reservation. Now Momo, which is the teppanyaki restaurant, there's 2 parts. There's just like the regular Asian cuisine restaurant, and then there's the side that actually cooks in front of you, and so that's the portion that we did. The food there was pretty good. I think fairly standard. It was a good time for the kids with them cooking. Got sushi as the appetizer. I also got a drink. I can't remember what the drink was. It was some type of martini, which was also really good. There's a grill, there's a pizza place, there's a seafood restaurant. That actually some of the seating there looks out towards the beach. There's poolside pizza, a Mexican restaurant, a Texan style barbecue restaurant, and there is another Italian restaurant that does require reservations. So you can make reservations in the app, which is fairly easy. we wanted the Momo reservation, and it was not available when we first checked in. So I kept trying, and I finally was able to get it. You can also call on your room phone to get a reservation. So let's go over, oh, excuse me, the Zook has I think 4 or 5 restaurants. None of them are buffets, but like I said, they can use, if you stay there, you can use the buffet at Sunrise. One of them is like a steakhouse. Actually, I lied, they do have a buffet. I think it's just a little smaller, and they have 2 other restaurants. One of them is a steakhouse, and one of them is a Mexican a la carte cuisine. And let's talk about the Grand. Like I said, the Grand has 13 restaurants. One of the restaurants is adults only and requires reservations. A lot more of the restaurants at the Grand require reservations. We ate at Circus at the Grand. Oh my god, the food at Circus. Okay, well, let's talk about what Circus is. Circus is, like its name, it's a circus themed restaurant. They had circus acts during dinner. So they had a clown that did stuff, and it was very interactive with the kids. They had a juggler, and what else did we see while we were there? Was another act. I'll try to insert some videos so you can see. And all the the food was themed to a circus. So you like think onion rings and wings and chicken nuggets and things like that. The food was okay. The food was okay. I really feel like this restaurant, you're going there for the experience. It is a restaurant that requires reservations, but it's not a restaurant that I would think if you're really going to look for really good food that you can go there. After dinner, they also have a dessert set up that had like churros and ice cream, and I feel like they might have had cotton candy. So it was a really fun restaurant, and even though I think the food was very mediocre, definitely worth getting. We also ate at the buffet at the Grand, and in my opinion, the buffet at the Grand was way better than the buffet at Sunrise. Now, the buffet at Sunrise was not nasty or anything like that. It's just that the Grand's was better. Even though some of the selections were the same, I think it tasted better, and they had a few more things that I don't think the other one had. And the inside was just nicer. Like I said, I think it's the newer hotel. They also have a steakhouse, Japanese cuisine, a Mexican restaurant. The French restaurant is the one that is adults only and requires reservations. They have a cocina, so think tacos. They have an Italian restaurant and an Argentinian grill, just to name a few. They also have a really cool speakeasy. It's called the Library, I believe, and it looks like the door, it looks like part of the wall. It has books on it, and then you open it up and you can walk inside, and it's the bar. I didn't actually get to go in the bar because we were walking past when I noticed it. But it's really cool. You should check it out. So overall, for the food, 1 through 5, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Like, the food was pretty good. We actually had room service. The room service breakfast was really, really good. I think we had room service breakfast twice, and to be honest, I would choose room service breakfast over the buffet breakfast. The room service breakfast was better, and you can order the room service in the app as well, and you can order it the night before, so that is super plus. So let's talk about the pool. We only experienced the pool at the Sunrise, and I enjoyed it. I think the section of the pool that we were at, because I said like the trip was more geared towards the kids, the section of the pool that we were at was really close to the kids section of the pool that had like small slides and the little bucket that dumps the water. So it's like a little mini water park over there, and the kids enjoyed that. And part of the dreamery experience also allowed us access to the water park at the Grand Hotel, which I'll talk about in a minute. But at the kids pool, they had a water gun fight, they had a water balloon fight, and while we were out there, they also had a foam party on the beach, all which was great. Now, the home party, the foam in the sand made for a really weird feeling, and it was kind of hard to wash off, but right before you go back up off of the beach to the pool. There were plenty of places to rinse all of that off. So that was really fun. And I liked that they had quite a few beach chairs that were inside the pool. We had pretty good service, poolside service there too. There is a restaurant right near the pool, and we did get food from there. My mom went in there and brought us food from there. The thing about that restaurant that just really didn't make sense to me is that you couldn't go in there wet. And on one hand I get it, but on the other hand it's just like you're situated right next to the pool. So I feel like as long as you're not dripping wet, you should be able to go in there, and you could not. And during lunchtime, which is the time that we went, it's set up as a small buffet. I think at dinner it turns into an a la carte restaurant. Overall for the pool, I'll give the pool a 5. It was fine. It was fun. The kids had fun. I would give it a 5. The beach, there was a lot of seaweed, and it had a very bad smell. So if you don't know, Cancun in general struggles from seaweed issues at certain times of the year. And so if the beach is really important to you, I tell all my clients, if the beach is important to you, then we need to consider about what time of the year that you go to Cancun, or we need to look for someone else that's not as big of a problem, which is starting to become more and more of a problem across a lot of Caribbean islands and places to go. So we didn't spend a lot of time at the beach, and because of the seaweed and the smell, I would probably have to give it a 2, at least for when we went. The playrooms. So, oh, let me back up. Sorry, I forgot to talk about the water park. So the water park is over at the Grand Hotel, and if you aren't doing the Dreamery experience, you can experience the water park and the other things at the Grand Hotel has for a price. If you are doing the Dreamery experience, it is included in that particular experience. The water park was so fun. It had smaller water slides for like younger kids. It had a lazy river, and then it had the big water slides. Did we eat there? I don't think we ate while we were there, but we got a couple of drinks. I didn't see as many people to like serve you as I had at the regular pool on the Sunrise side. And for the most part, we stayed around the smaller slides. My kids are 11 and 6, so we stayed up mostly at the smaller side, but we also did the lazy river. For the lazy river, they do not provide you with floats, so you would need to bring your own for you to do that. Customer service, overall I give the customer service like a 3. I didn't have super exceptional customer service. I didn't have terrible customer service. Everybody was just, you know, kind of doing their job. I will say that the bellman, people who got our bags when we arrived, and the people who came and got our bags when we were getting ready to leave were very, very nice, very, very helpful. So I'll give that a 3. So let's get into a little bit more about the Dreamery experience. Another portion that we experienced while we were there was they have a bouncy area. They said that it's not up year round. It's during their high peak season that it is up. The kids do require shirts with sleeves on it. We found that out the hard way. And then they have a smaller section or ball pit for babies and toddlers. And in the section where the babies are, there are seating there, and there is food. So you like pizza, chicken nuggets, burgers, popcorn, ice cream, that sort of thing. She said that during their lower seasons, it doubles as their conference space. And so that's one of the reasons that they do not keep it up year round. That is another portion that we experienced. And she did say that the bouncy house was available to everyone, not just if you are part of the Dreamery experience. So that was good. Let's talk about the playrooms, arcades at the resort. So they had 2 playrooms that we visit, one on the Sunrise side and one on the grand side. So we'll start with the sunrise first. The sunrise side, they had it looked small on the outside, but it's actually really big. They had a skating rink, ice skating rink outside. They also had a basketball court. Inside they had a movie theater. They had like a little obstacle course. They had a dress up area that was equipped with a little runway stage. They had a video game area, and there was something, oh, they also have a eating area. So if you are going to leave your kids there during lunchtime, you can sign up so they can make sure they have food for them, as well as if you're going to leave them in there for dinner time, you need to have them signed up at a specific time to make sure that they eat dinner while they are there as well. Then of course they can get water and like snacks like popcorn and things whenever they want. You can come and drop your kids off, or if you have littles, you do, I think it was under 4 and under maybe, they could also experience the playroom, but you would have to stay with them. There is a check-in desk at the front, and the girls working there would have to let you in and out. At the playroom in the grand is much bigger. It's much bigger, and it has way more things. They had bumper cars in there. They had a little laser game. They had a whole separate arcade area. They had the same type of food setup. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing that if you're gonna leave your kids there, you'll sign up for breakfast and dinner as normal. They also had a little, what do they call it? A ropes course that you could do. And all of that was downstairs and kind of geared towards older kids. Upstairs, they had a mirror maze, which I thought was super cute, and also an area for kids 7 and under. Now, this particular space, in my opinion, was a little, even though just like the sunrise, parents could go in with their children, and under a certain age they had to go in with their children, it was much more secure because it was kind of behind a door and a desk, and you can drop your kids off, and you had to give them a password, and if you drop your kids off, they would have to have the person coming to pick your child up would have to have the password to get your kid out. Downstairs, while everything is behind like a little door and there's a desk with someone working, it was not as secure. People were kind of, even though they had to press the button to let you in and out, people were coming in and out kind of really at will. You know, there wasn't as much stopping and checking to make sure that kids should be leaving and entering. Like I said, the bottom portion looked to be geared towards older kids. I think the playrooms, honestly, they were really nice. They also had lockers at the grand playroom. I did not see any at the sunrise. So I'm trying to think. No, I don't think I saw any at the sunrise. And upstairs in the smaller kids space, they had little slides. They had a ball pit. They had a little bounce area. They had a little something in the middle where the kids sit on and it swung them around. They had some dress up areas, and there was like 1 or 2 arcade games up there, a couple of dress up spaces. So it was really cute. In general, I don't really like the idea that parents can come into somewhere where you have dropped your kids off. So I never dropped my kids off. I stayed with them. I did leave my son downstairs for a period of time. I was comfortable with that while I was upstairs with my daughter, and I actually probably would have felt comfortable leaving her upstairs at that particular playroom while I was at least in the building or in the area, because their playroom is kind of smack dab in the middle of the water park. So if I was at the water park or something like that, I probably feel comfortable with that. But yeah, I just didn't like the idea that you're supposed to drop your kids off here, but other adults were able to come and go at their leisure. I'm just a little iffy about that. For older kids, I think I would feel fine. For smaller kids, I don't know, I would feel maybe just a little leery about that. But overall, the playrooms were really nice. I'll probably give that a 5 out of 5. Your kids will absolutely love it. So we're talking about the playrooms. They had a arcade, like a full arcade, called Wired Lounge. They had Xboxes in there. They had like TVs lined up where there were Xboxes in there, and then they had these little pods where only one person could sit and play. They had like foosball, standard arcade games, like little high top tables, and they also had like a little snack concession stand there as well. They looked like they had sandwiches, maybe pizza, popcorn, ice cream for sure, and then of course drinks. Now this particular area looked like it was geared towards more towards teens, but any age could go in there. There was not a lot of seating area for parents, but right outside of the Wired Lounge there was a little bit more seating, and the kids can come and go as they please there. There's no checking in, checking out, none of that. You can just kind of come in and play and leave. You did have to check the controller games, not controller games, but the controllers for the games in and out. The kids loved it in the Wired Lounge. I think we actually spent more time there than anywhere. So there is something for everyone. Like if the playroom is not your kids' jam, they have the Wired Lounge that they could go in. They do have one at both Sunrise and the Grand. I'm not sure if they have one at the Zook. I'll look. He also had a spa, of course, and the spa had mommy and me type environment and treatments geared towards mothers and daughters. It was really nice. When we went over, they gave cookies, and they gave my daughter a little tiara, which of course she loved that. It was very quiet and serene, so that's something else you can do. Let's talk a little bit about the Dreamery experience itself. We talked about all the in-room amenities that come with the Dreamery experience. We talked about the gifts that they leave for them. It's one of the nights we came back, they had left us a little treat. So I'm going to insert a video of that, which was really cute. The chocolate was not that good, but some of it was good, but the little pieces of chocolate just tasted a little weird. The Dreamery experience also has shows specific for them. I'm going to insert some videos for that. It was so amazing to watch. That was really fun. They also offer talent shows for kids, magic courses, circus courses, all of these things that your kids can enjoy. We wanted to do the talent show, but we ran out of time, and that is over at the Grand that they do that. And in the app, it tells you a lot of what's going on, because there's a lot going on at the resort, not only for children but for the adults. There's mini golf available. Another thing that I really liked was they do offer the bike rides, and they have bikes for adults, but they also have little bikes for children, some with trainer wheels and some without trainer wheels. So that was really cute as well. What else? Oh, they had something called the Cookie-licious experience, which is an additional cost. It's basically a cookie decorating class. They were not offering it during the days that we were there, but it looked like it was a whole lot of fun. They also have, they call her like the candy lady. If you spot the candy lady, she has a cart full of all kinds of huge lollipops, different smaller candies that she fills, different little drinks that they had when she was stationary. They had different drinks. They have a mascot that comes around that you can take pictures with. This experience, if you're looking for something that is going to wow your kids, doing the Dreamery experience is absolutely worth it. It's an additional $99, but it covers all the children in your party, whether they're 4 or 14, whether you have 2 or 5 kids. It covers all of them for only $99. So for that, I think it's absolutely worth it, because even to get the pass pass to be able to use the Grand without the Dreamery experience, you're probably going to spend twice as much. So it's definitely worth it. One thing I will say, and it was something that I did pass along to the salespeople there, is that there was not a lot of variety in size for the shirts and princess and pirates goodies that they left. So a lot of that stuff was too small for my 11-year-old, and there were some older kids there that looked like 14 or something like that, and the shirts that they provided were a little too small for them as well. Obviously your older kids may not care as much, but if you have smaller kids who may be a little bigger, it's a one-size-fit-all that does not really fit all. But that is something that they, I think, really took into consideration, because there were quite a few of us that were like, oh, these don't fit. But overall, I think the Dreamery experience is definitely worth it. Let's see. I'm gonna wait to give my overall score, and I'll let the kids give you their opinions.
It was fabulous.
It was fabulous?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the room?
Yeah.
What about the stuff in the room? What did you think about that?
I see.
Okay. What about the pool?
It was so much fun.
What did you think about the food?
It was delicious.
It was delicious. Did you like the foam party?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only sandy and foamy at the same time.
Sandy and foamy at the same time?
And then it would turn to clay.
Yeah, it did turn to clay. Okay. If you could give it a 1 through 5, what number would you give it?
A 1,000.
Awesome. Literally awesome. It was, man, it's hard to explain. There was an arcade there. There was good food, water parks, even some slides. I really liked the golf carts dropping us off. When we saw the playground, I think it was like the playground dreamery, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. Like there was an Xbox, like a gaming room, a playroom. No, because the thing was called a playroom. There was also a creative room. There was a cafeteria, well, pretty much a lunchroom, and a movie theater. My favorite part probably had to be the arcade. Arcade was cool. It was fun playing video games. I'm surprised they had Madden. But if you're talking about my favorite part, probably the water park and the pool.
Yes.
I would love to go back.
Okay, so overall, I'm going to do a 1 out of 10 for the overall resort. Overall, I would probably give this resort a 7 or 8. Let's go 7.5. The food was pretty good. It was like nothing to write home about, though. There was nothing extraordinary about the places that we ate. Now, obviously, there's way more restaurants on property, and some of them could have boosted that score. But really, the room was a big detractor for me. That tub in the room, I think it takes up way too much space, and honestly it's not useful, especially if you're going there as a family. No one can take a bath in there because everyone is in the room. There's no separation between the bathroom and the living spaces. I think it would do them some good to maybe remove that out of some of the rooms. So overall, I'm going to give it 7.5. I definitely would go again. I look forward to experiencing more of the other sections of the resort, and they also have a property in Jamaica. So if you are interested in booking this resort or any other resort, I have my email down in the description, as well as a form that you can fill out so that we can get you going on your next vacation. Talk soon.